out?
There we go.
Okay, we got it. Good. I wonder how long it goes. It doesn't matter. Okay, because you have silver wings, it's rare. You need to look at David Cousins' Handbook for Lightworkers. Silver is something that works with ETs. It's very attuning, channeling. Instead of a foot, you have 3 feet above you, which is a channel again. You need to look at Mary. Vanya, can you turn that down? I'm recording the music. The Mary Rodwell is talking about the new human beings, these kids that have been abducted. She's talked to 1,600 of them. There's something in your energy that has this ET download in that energetically. Probably in the past life, you know, when you're working in, I get the word Palladian energy and stuff, and this is the group that was coming in, and they're the ones that started foundations here, inspired people to save the cat, save the jungle, save the turtles. So it's all about preserving things, yeah. And then that energy is here. It's coming galactic energy. This is where you picked up this silvery wings to sense things, oversensitive. And the reason why you need to do the violet light is because you pick people's stuff, and some of the anxiety you're feeling even isn't yours, and you think it is, but it's an illusion. Comes up illusion really because you're picking other people. The class that you have now, it's all about feeling this year. Free feel, get massage, float in a tub of spring water in Shayla or something, you know, and throw all kinds of salts and smells in it. But just do things for yourself and just feel, because that's part of your gift, and it's going to tune you a lot. And so these kids, they're going to come to you. You've cleared a lot of their stuff. The new ones that are coming in, these rainbow kids and that, I'm not talking rainbow tribe. It's really hard, this dualism in this dimension, and you've had to deal with a lot of hard stuff. I get a picture of the tower, you know, like lightning hitting and you're throwing out of the tower, and this is our false self. You know, we build all these things around us, what we want people to see and do, and then God comes in, wham, lightning bolt, out of the tower, hit the earth, fall 3 stories, and that's what we are, earth to earth, ashes to ashes, dust to dust. I'm just in an earthen vessel, you know, I'm just here. I'm not my job, I'm not my education, I am that I am. So this energy, and then there's a creativity that's going around you in the back that wants to come forward even more, like super creative energy, like design and, you know, like flair for creativity and whatever you put your hands to. In the past, you were a glass worker. In a past life, you were making beautiful things with glass, and some of your creativity is coming out of these past lives, and it's working. You're working with your hands, and yeah, I'll get to you in a second. Okay, hold. Just want to go through. Okay, so there's green. Green is the heart person, someone that's all heart. And when I look in your eyes, it's authority, a lot of strength. There's 2 layers, complicated. So you can go into business and administrative things or whatever, but or teaching, which is fine, but deep inside is this well of healing that needs to explode and be poured out, and I feel like, again, young people around you, I think you're going to come to a place where you're going to be with younger people, and they're going to fill their cups. I see a picture of them like getting something from you, what you're saying. It's probably your channeling. I'm not really sure, but I get a picture of them coming. This is in the future, and they're going to glean and get a lot of information and energy from you. With this color too, with the blue and the green, it's like a psychologist. So there's a sign on you that says, "Talk to me and you'll feel better." You cheer everybody up. Life of the party, cheer them up. So people will just open up to you and just start, yeah, la 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 la, and you're actually energetically clearing them. Look at heartmath.org. You have a 10-foot radius around you. The old saying, I wouldn't touch her or him with a 10-foot pole, nothing but trouble. Went through 5 divorces. I wouldn't buy that business. It's failing. I wouldn't touch it with a 10-foot pole. 16 years ago. They found out we have a 10-foot radius around us. I've been teaching it for years. I could go in Dulcine and find it. So I knew we're in this bubble, and it looks like a slinky that goes down the stairs. It's wrapped around you like this, a vortex. It's around the earth, and it's around you spinning. And so heart math, you're doing a lot of energetic stuff that you're not even aware of, and you need to wake up from circuits in your head to understand it. And again, Mary Rodwell interviewed 1,600 kids. There's these kids they're writing in languages, they're speaking in different languages. I'm not talking Pentecostal church or shamans that I've watched, and I've been with the Muslims and seers and that, and they all have these languages flowing with yeah, all this circuit stuff is inside of you. So you even ought to try just some of that oming and that crazy language that'll come to you. It's just going to make you feel better, and it's going to pop open all this information that's in your field. I don't know, do you speak in tongues, or have you ever tranced out and just tried? Try it, because it's in your field. And then there's cubicle stuff, so you need to work with Metatron. Metatron is in the tree of life. He's at the top of the crown, Keter, and it's the veils, omnipresent, the source. And your guide says that you're a sorceress in the past life, and there's a lot of sorcery, and that you have to be careful that what you say or work out, because you will create it, yeah? And so it can go good or bad because of this strong authority and power to manifest and shift things. But because of this last couple years, the way things are shifting so quick, you really got to go from your head and into your heart. And just ask the source. Source is neither male nor female. It's light, and everything's sacred geometry, and we're in a hologram, and you're part of it, and you created this. We created this, and now we're experiencing dualism. Tough, yeah? And it's all about going from the head and going into the heart. Because of the green, you need to pull more of that heart stuff up. Going and serving these people and all that, that's heart, and that's good. It brings more of that. But, whoa, the creativity, I don't know, okay, you said you write, okay, orange is writing, orange is channeling, it's intuitive, it's, it's just this huge blanket of orange around you, like a veil. And then the psychology thing comes up. Did you study any psychology? A little. Yeah, I would think you'd be drawn to it because of that. Most psychologists are this green and blue, and then you have a streak of yellow, and they go into social work. So that might be what's pushing you towards, making a good Christmas for the kids and giving them gifts and that. It's like social work. So you're a social butterfly. And so that's in there. And And can you go sideways? I'm just going to run through all these chakras, make sure everything's flying. The interference in your chakras is in the solar plex. I would take a violet stone like amethyst, violet, and put in there 20 minutes a day to clear energy. It's mind forms that are stuck, about how you're feeling and thinking about yourself. And that needs to clear. So put in this. It's magic. You just put that stone in one day. I never ate took LSD or mushrooms, and I had a pyramid fall in the room and show me what stones put in, totally different than the books. And then I met with a physicist. They said, "Oh my God, Doc, that's light physics." I went, "Huh?" So, okay, that amethyst in here is just going to clear a lot of that and energize and get you so that you get a hold of your willpower, and things that you fight with your will, you're going to take it back, okay? So by putting that stone in, it's clearing with intention, and it's taking my power back. Yeah? And oh God, look out, when you take your power back. Okay? Because you're a powerhouse. You're lit up with all kinds of circuits and energy, and it's complicated. It's really complicated. I got a guide here, not talking, but I can see really clear. It's really interesting that your guide wears an orange scarf. Yeah? Okay, this guide is Tibetan looking. It's like a medicine woman with it's a maroon and then an orange kind of like scarf, and this is a Tibetan guide that you have.
Long hair, Indian looking?
Yeah, and says that she knew you in a past life, and you're like best friends, and you just got into more trouble than you can imagine you two. You were little scamps. This is what she's saying. And but so much fun, and you were working with Tibetan medicine and healing and opening up gates, stargates, and opening and working with ley lines, and that you did other. She's been with you in other times where you worked with ley lines, with energy things. You went into areas and you cleared them and you opened up stargates, whatever that is. I don't know. Great. Um, there's a lot of healing in your hands. Like you should touch people, channel energy to them because you have circuits, she says, that are open in your hands and they'll heat up and you can channel this energy. You don't even need to use the Reiki because you have this channel that is source. To be a sorceress, you have to believe, you can sit down, to be a sorceress, you have to believe in the source, number one, and number two, the sorceress, the environment never influences the sorceress. This is an old principle that you have to remember from the School of Mysteries. Nothing can make you feel bad. Nothing can influence you. You have to get a hold of your will and rise up above everything and go, whoa, everything is shifting this year. It's all about feeling, I feel good. Boo, 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 boo. She's doing a little dance. She's kind of a character, so you must be. And
I've been singing that song all year, believe it or not.
You're kidding. Well, that's what you just said. So I feel good. So again, it's about feeling, and it's about feeling good, and oh my God, huge change, change, change. She just threw it out like a banner. So there's a huge change, probably even in location and everything. Things are shifting. It's time to get out of what you're in and make a move. And you've been maybe a little nervous about it. And I'm just, about, oh God, and security and all that. Let it go. Yeah, let it go. Yeah, you can create anything. You can go to something even better. It's when you make the shift and you make the move and you get rid of all the stuff that you can come into even more. And abundance, on and off struggles with stuff and all that, but it's all going to shift because you need the wealth, you need this coming in flow to...
it's coming in August.
Well, she's saying coming in to give, to go and resettle, find she says niche, and it'll be very clear to you, the move, but you need to get out of Dodge, she said. You weren't a cowboy in past life, were you? No, she says you have a really good sense of humor and you'd like that kind of stuff. So, okay, great. And, oh, she's gone. She'll be back. They go whip out and I go, where were you? 8th dimension, 9th dimension. They fix things when I talk to them. And, yeah. Well, you know what I'm up to. I'm going to buy another farm. And 1 hectare of moringa in Guatemala is $60,000 a year. Not bad. Easy to pick. It's a superfood. You put in 1 hectare of teak in 20 years, you have $1.5 million. It's only $1,500 to put the damn trees in. You just need the land. So there's just so much potential and things, you could end up in a community working and being paid. I don't know what, but you're not going to have to worry. It's all about, it's change, huge change. But I would tell you to get out. Get out of the area you're in.
This area, you mean?
I don't know where you're living.
Oh,
But you live in, where do you live in the States?
In California, yeah.
You moved out?
Pretty much. I put my motorhome in storage and I'm just living on the road now, traveling. I'm going to Europe.
Okay, there you go. Yeah, and it's almost like you shouldn't go back and resettle back to where you were. You understand? You're going to find a place that's home.
I know.
Okay?
And the money's coming in August.
Well, great. But you might want to stay in touch with me if I buy a huge shit farm, you know. You might want to have a little piece of moringa for income. You never know. Anything else going on here? Metatron diamonds, Herkimer diamonds. You work with the angel Metatron, which is crown, and it's these diamonds here. They're on an enhancer. Look, that is your key to multiple dimensional work. If you go on Galactic Federation channeling Herkimer diamonds Metatron, he came in here and told me all this. I went, what? You created those? Yeah. And then I went and surfed, and I found a channel that came and said all this. I went, oh my God, you know, I love confirmation.
Mm-hmm.
So you need the Herkimas because they're really, really important to carry them on you, to help you to move in and out of dimensional things. What else is going on here? Ben? I'm going to have him look in your hands.
Okay.
And I need your birth date. I would like to give you a... This is what I do in readings. My other appointments are already here. Right. Can you give me your birth date?
September 2nd, 1959.
September is 9?
Mm-hmm. 1959.
2, 18, wow, you're going to have an exciting year, but it's about feeling. So you have to go, you know, treat yourself. Go get in the tub with the flowers, and go to Thailand and have them wine and dine you and do Thai massage, whatever. Okay, 9, 10, 11, 12. Oh, 18, 19, 4, 5, 6. Check it again. 35. Good number. It's business. Guess what?
What?
It's business. Okay, sweetheart.
There's an amethyst piece I normally wear over my solar plexus.
I didn't know. But now with intention, you know the power of it. There you go.
Let's start wearing.
Isn't that exciting?
And I made this, so there's another creativity.
Oh, there it is. And I'm going to clear you with some diamonds. And I have my broken glasses here. My friends have broken glasses. My cheaters.
I can fix them for you.
Well, I think I even lost the other part now. So what did I say? 35-8. This is Kabbalah, so you have all this info. Numerology and the Divine Triangle. You'll absolutely love it if you pick up the book. It's Faith and Dusty Bunker. And your life lesson is 35-8. And this is called the inheritance. Oh, no. Yeah. 8, because the bearer usually inherits money, power, position, and sometimes all three. You have an individualistic, forceful mind, a tremendous vitality, and a sense of what the public needs and how to supply it, and therefore you make a good executive, business person, teacher, or researcher. You work and play hard because you enjoy strenuous activities. You have a great deal of personal charm and are attracted to both sexes, it says. Interesting. You have many interests that could succeed in any number of professions. You are friendly, helpful, and considerate. Emotional balance is important for you. You need stability to control your dynamic energy and achieve success. Travel is one outlet for your tremendous vitality because it satisfies your need for freedom and action. You may meet opposition during your lifetime, however, you are prepared. Inner strength and power and a healthy body give you tools to defend your position. Through dedication and constant force, you are eventually victorious. When you go negative, it produces doubt, unreasonableness, unbending judgments, and you become self-indulgent, undisciplined, and brings on weakness, ill health, and many bitter emotional experiences. However, with your vision and foresight, you have the opportunity to be a leader who is able to supply both mind and body. You came in under the 9 of Wands. 8 firmly planted wands make a fence between the figure and the outer world. The 9th wand is held in readiness for use if necessary. This is a picture of strength and latent power, both physical and spiritual, implies an inherent strength for work well done in the past. It says here you were influenced by Sagittarius with the number. A strong independence is inherent in your nature. You are a bit impulsive and forceful. You like to be at the head of things, and you have the executive ability to back up that desire. You must not let overconfidence lead you to take on more responsibility than is comfortable. Keep your nervous energy in check. Control your desire for too much expansion. You can usually find your way out of a jam, but it would be better to take the middle road and accept the simple laws of personal discipline.
Very accurate.
Yeah. Interesting. So that's the Kabbalah. And wait, I want to get Ben in here to check out your painting. I'll be right there. Can you check out her hand?
Sure. I need my phone so I have light. I need the ghost. Actually, let me have your phone. Where's your phone?
My phone's right here. I squeezed her in. Jesus.
Because I'm so.
And I told her she doesn't have to pay me. I was just like, oh, this is
It's interestingly, she was one of the first people I met when I got to San Marcos.
No.
Yeah, like a year ago. I saw you.
And you were the first person that recognized
next time you come and
Yeah.
see us. Come back. Okay?
All right. So you have fire hands, which is like social hands. How much time do we have?
What time is it? Okay, go for it.
So you have fire hands, which,
Love her to pieces.
which is social energy. Let's see. And are you righty or lefty? Okay. So. All right. So basically, your right hand represents the future, your active personality, and the yang energy. The left hand represents the past, the passive, and your yin energy, also the internal. So that's the two parts of the two hands. Now, fingerprints on the hands are like the channel that holds the river, and the lines on your hands are like the river. Lines change about every 3 weeks, not instantaneously. That's like about how much time it takes for people to notice if they're not really looking. So they generally meander across your hand like a river does. So you have fire hands, which is social. So that's like a lot of social energy that you have there. You also have the knots of, you have some knots of martial order. So that's talking about that you, I just got thrown into this different frame of mind. I'm carrying garbage. The knots of martial order talk about that when you choose to be disciplined, you have the ability to be disciplined. That's what it talks about. You also have a little bit of like philosopher's knots, especially on this finger, which talks about that in the mind that you can think on like philosophical subjects, and you are often with your thoughts going in a philosophical direction. When you're making decisions, you're like, so a lot of people are like, well, this is what reality looks like, I'm going to make a decision. You're like, well, maybe this is what universe is trying to tell me, I'm going to make a decision this way. So that's why somebody would develop a knot like this. It also makes it a little harder to kind of just flow energy off, but it makes it so you can, so you perceive other parts of reality that other people wouldn't perceive. As for your fingernails, there's definitely some psychic energy in these nails. Let's see how the texture. Definitely like a mixture of sensitivity and social texture in your hand. Let's see the print level. Print level is you also have, so there's social and sensitivity. The thing about sensitivity is if you're sensitive, sometimes you can take things personally, or you can be oversensitive about stuff when it's not even meant that way at all. That's the kind of negative side. The positive side is that you're very sensitive. You can feel what's going on around you, that kind of stuff. Um, I'll just go into the lines in your hand. This line right here is the earth line. This shows a certain level of shyness right here, as much as like what the outer personality acts like. There's a like an inner shyness here, and that also shows that it might have taken you some time to move away from where you grew up. I don't know, that's different for everybody, but because it moves so far along the line. Now this right here, it shows that you have some pretty good roots in here, but that they go this way. It shows that you're a bit of a wanderer. Um,
I have a wart on this line. What does that mean? It's been there my whole life.
Warts oftentimes mean shamanic energy. So that would definitely have to do with shamanic energy, and like, but interestingly, it's on your earth line, and the earth line represents the family, the physical body. Malkut, if you know the tree of life, it's the very bottom rung of the tree of life. It represents Malkut. It represents forming influences, all the programs your parents gave you. You have pretty good grounding here. I'm talking about, not talking about like grounding like I'm grounded or not ungrounded. I'm talking about like that your parents gave you some programs that you're using properly. I'm not saying they're good or bad. You're just using them in a way that benefits you in this life. And it looks like you've been doing it for a while because it's pretty steady. That's right there something to be a little bit worried about. That shows that if you continue along the path, if you don't change something, then you're gonna, hard to say, this is like unhappiness. If you don't shift what you're doing into something that you really feel is your call to maybe help people or whatever it may be, but that shows like unhappiness later. Like that's like at the end of the life. Your lines are pretty healthy along here. You got a little bit of stagnation here, which is body stuff. That can be weight. That can be, but not. You have no breaks. And this line carries along here. There's a bit of a disconnect here, so you're going to be using your life's purpose will keep you alive in the later years. This is like 53 here, 60 is like here, so it's kind of getting near this branch off. And if you don't go that way, then your life, I mean, this is like 90 something over here, so I mean, even to like the 90s, but it will be simple. I mean, there won't be much there, but if you go this way, that's a different path. But that's for now. It could be anything else. I'd recommend Dong Quai. This is like the feminine organs, sexual organs, and it's a little swollen, which talks about that there's something going on in that area. So I recommend Dong Quai or something along those lines. And I see this is a very simple, easy sign to look at, and always correct.
One thing that I find interesting is this fingerprint-looking thing right here.
Mm-hmm.
Can you see that?
Oh yeah, and this is very interesting. I was going to tell you a little later, but I'll tell you now. You have a lot of like puffy energy here, and that's a lot of sexual energy. And having a fingerprint in here talks about either family. There's something really special with family, or you build families with people, or you're a mother to people. Some kind of energy. That's what this fingerprint would talk about. Or that there's a sexual energy that you need to share with younger people. I don't know exactly what it is, but that's what this print generally means in that area. And there's a lot of sexual energy here too, because of all the puffiness. See how like puffy it is? Well, mine's decently puffy too. But yeah. So this is the earth line. There's some stagnation here, and some few programs on self-perception and like survival programs, talking about money, that kind of stuff that kind of twists in your head a little. That just causes you trouble. Necessarily bad. It just causes you trouble. Well, I guess it causes you trouble, so it is kind of Then this is your fire line, which interestingly, well, and that's the headline right there. But the fire line goes up to here. So you found some sort of path right now. Which is very good, and I read faces too. It's kind of a interesting path because it's a bit of a curvy path, so it's showing that it's not, the path doesn't necessarily look the same, but you can feel when you're on it. And it goes through the mental, so you know when you're on your path, and the only thing that can kind of get in the way is the emotional. Now you have quite a bit of emotional stuff here. All the way from the sexual energy through the social energy, even to a little bit of belief system stuff, all the way through there. You see the islands? That's talking about if you have a river and you put an island in the middle of the river, the water has to go around the river. So that's like your energy having to part for a program that you're not willing to get rid of. So these are all little emotional programs that you have going on that would be amazing to let go of. But your line is actually, it's a healthy line. It's got a good curve, which comes up to here. This is where the line's supposed to come up to, which is excellent. So the water line in the end, when you work with emotions, it may be heavy and kind of hard to move through, but once you can get it through, which is the important thing. Not a lot of people can get it through, which is very good that you can. You also have, interestingly enough, really interesting, you have a bit of a star here, which talks about one of your skills is either being a teacher or being a leader to people, to kids, that kind of stuff. This is healing line right here, so you definitely have some healing capacities there. And you really know how to relax, and that may be an energy that you bring to people, is that something how to just kind of relax about life. This is the mark of, which not everybody has. Right here is the mark of leisure, somebody that knows how to relax, but notice that it's very puffy too, so that means there's extra energy there. So it's somebody that knows how to relax and can teach that, because there's many things to teach. Many people talk about being a hard worker, and that's important. Well, the other side of it, knowing how to relax and find your way, is a whole other story that a lot of people miss. And so that's something that you have to teach also. Looks like there's a ring of Solomon forming also, which talks about being able to perceive things in other people and learning to perceive things in other people too. I just want to compare a little. Now, if I look at the lines, notice that this one kind of branches off. That's like hidden emotions, and also this is a tendency to kind of ruin relationships. And that's actually cleared up quite a bit here, which is really good. There still is.
We don't have relationships anymore.
Yeah. Well, but that doesn't mean the tendency is gone or not.
Mm-hmm.
It just means that you don't. So it's cleared some. There is still some of that tendency if you go that direction. It looks like you become a little more free-flowing, because this line right here is like a structured order line, and this one you don't have it anymore, so it's kind of cleared up. If we look at your headline is really kind of an interesting headline. This goes here, tilts down, and then it goes up and down. So it's like your thought process can be creative and logical, and then creative and logical. It kind of bounces between the two, which is really interesting, and it takes an interesting route that most people's lines wouldn't. So the way your mind figures things out is very different, which is very interesting. If you look here, you had a normal kind of way in the past of doing it. Now you've developed this interesting route, which is cool. So it's probably a view on reality that people, if you talk about it, don't really understand. But it works, even though people can't understand it, because it's going with the real laws of the universe and following this other kind of path. It only works if you can really understand it and be in it and walk in it. And it's hard to say in words, and I know what you're talking about. Let's see what else we've got. Interesting. So your fingerprints, all your fingerprints are, the thumb's the governor, right? It's the governor of the hand. It holds sway over every finger in your hand. That's its ability, is to hold energy over everything. So the two thumbs, their energy is go with the flow. And like you flow in energy, you flow in everything. But that's like unspecific. At a very base root energy, you're a flower. You flow with what's going on. You flow with the people. This is the perception of self and the perception of others in a more active sense, in like business, in working with other people, in kind of a outward way. This is like more close friends and self-perception. So on both of these, you have go with the flow. You have a lot of go with the flow in your hands. In belief systems, you have go with the flow. It's go with the flow, adaptability. The thing about being go with the flow a lot is that you can when somebody says something, it might wash you away. Like you won't hold up for yourself, and you may have, since you've lived quite a bit of life, you learned to kind of hold your space and say, no, I'm going to stay on this way. Or you may have just learned to say, all right, that's the way you're going to go, and I'm going to flow my way. But often people with this kind of energy aren't much of fighters. They're just, all right, you're making your choice, I'm going to make my choice, everything's cool. So in belief system, you're the same way, and it's just flowing with new belief systems. If you see one doesn't work for you, just flow away from it. Now, in sensitive and sexual, your flow, go with the flow, whatever kind of comes up, you go with it. The only place that you're different is on this finger. This is the social finger in your close life, in your close personal life, and your social energy with yourself. And this is go with the flow yet again. You have a lot of really flow energy, so I'm going to say again that can be like, sometimes it can be like you just kind of flow through the cracks. If somebody really does get in the way, and they stamp on you, it can make it so you can be pushed around a little sometimes. But the positive side is if somebody stamps on you and trods on you, you just kind of flow away from the situation, and there isn't going to really be a fight. It's just going to be, all right, that's where you're going to be, I'm out of here. So there's negative and positive to everything. The one place you have is you have a bubble, which is protection and social energy. That's the one different place you have. And this is in the active hand, which means you're careful who you connect with, because you understand that who you connect with brings their energy into your reality, and you're inviting that energy to be with you, be in your reality. So you know that may screw with your flow if the person isn't flowing in a way that benefits both of you. So you have this careful energy and this protection there, and I feel that you really learn to move that wall and work it properly. The thing about that is if you let somebody in that isn't the best for you, it's a little harder to get them out, because then you have a bubble, because the bubble talks about keeping people out, but once you let them in, you develop a bit of an attachment. And so you're careful about who you interact with that energy, and rightly so for your energy. Makes complete sense. Let's see what else we've got here. So the rings on the thumbs, and even if that's the only place that they fit, they still have a quality. When you wear rings on the thumbs, it talks about increasing your general power and energy. It gives you, because it makes sense, you have a lot of go with the flow energy, so it gives you a little more force. Somebody's trying to stand up to you, trying to say this is wrong, then these rings here give you the force to say, no, that's not a good idea. That's why you wear them here, to balance your energy.
Nice. I looked for years for two that fit on my thumbs that matched.
And it works perfectly. And it makes sense with the way your hands flow. It's a very wise balance for you. Now let me look at a few other things. Well, I've got this right here. So you've got a couple, 1, 2, let's see what here, you've got 3 here. So your personal life seems to flow very well, because this talks about flow and mojo and ease of things, and this personal life flows quite well. So we've got the 3 lines of like good energy, good mojo, and then you've got 2 here. So it means that the outer world can sometimes be a little more bumpy, but there's still a flow there. I mean, my outer world, I've got 1 line, so mine can be quite bumpy, and my inner world is the same way. And that's like, a lot of people develop that with age, because they develop how to move with the flow and go with the flow. But it looks like a lot of your life was teaching people in this reality to how to flow, how to move with things. And that's really good, teaching people how to flow. Yeah, very good timing. Let me see. You've got a few lines here which talk about just being a really caring person, even if you're quiet. And this is what will cause you to be quiet and a little reserved. And then once you really get to know somebody, then. So that's perfectly for your system, perfectly normal. And the fingerprints talk about the most basic system. That doesn't mean you don't act differently. This is just the energy that you were given and how you flow in a general sense. You can always deviate to a certain extent, of course, because you're human, and that's what the lines represent. They represent your deviation, how you've moved and adjusted with the energies. These are just the very basic roots, the platforms that you stand on, that tell the basic code of how you act. As for your face, it's, pretty clean. There's some memories up here and around here. Got some sad memories. But people always have memories, but there's some there's some lines in knowing where you're going. A little bit of this is that anger. I think this side is anger, or one of these is anger, one sadness. I can never remember which side's which. But it's when it goes like that. That means that it's an emotion that's common to you. So either anger or sadness. Which one is it?
Both.
Okay. Can you go like this? Interesting. So you only have one, and there's still you're still learning how to process the energies sometimes because they're like, and that's also a lesson that needs to be learned. Interesting. Okay, we've got there. Yeah, I don't see any burnout, which is good. Nothing beyond that. Yeah, good. Good. Excellent. I think I covered everything.
Sweet. Thank you.
You're very welcome.